72 Hours is a light, generation gap party comedy that gave me way more steady chuckles than I expected, even if it never quite hit full-on I can't breathe hilarity. By the time the credits rolled, I'd gone from skeptical scroll by to genuinely entertained viewer who'd happily let Kevin Hart crash my weekend again. Picture this. I hit play on Netflix thinking 72 Hours would be perfect background noise while I half-check my phone and pretend to be productive. It's a new Kevin Hart comedy, directed by Tim Story of Barbershop and Ride-Along fame, about a 40-year-old ad executive who's supposedly too old and too cringe for the younger crowd. That setup alone had me side-eyeing the movie, because middle-aged guy tries to understand Gen Z could have gone painfully corny very fast. The hook is simple and pretty fun. Joe, a 40-year-old advertising exec, accidentally gets dropped into a group chat planning a wild Miami bachelor party for a bunch of 20-somethings. Instead of backing out like a normal adult with lower back pain and responsibilities, he decides this is his chance to save his career by studying the younger generation up close, like a very chaotic focus group with shots and bad decisions. Before you know it, he's hopping on a plane to join Mason and his crew, Nick, Hunter, and Freshman, for 3 days of nightlife, nonsense, and please don't let HR find out about this. Kevin Hart leans into the midlife crisis energy, playing Joe as a guy who's successful on paper, but clearly terrified of becoming obsolete. The fun comes from watching him try way too hard to be cool, renting a tricked-out Airbnb, fumbling through slang, and repeatedly misreading the room with these young party animals. His relationship with his doctor girlfriend Jen, played by a criminally underused Teyana Taylor, adds a nice extra layer. She's waiting for a ring while he's chasing relevance in a bachelor party group chat. Once the crew lands in Miami, the movie shifts into full weekend warrior mode. Yacht parties, nightclubs, terrible decisions, and the kind of how did I get here moments you know will live forever in embarrassing group photos. There's a standout stretch where Joe accidentally winds up coked out and transforms into a Tony Montana wannabe, complete with over-the-top swagger that wreaks havoc and draws the attention of a very unhappy drug lord. It's not the most original set of hijinks you'll ever see, but the energy stays high and the chaos keeps things moving. This is not a joke-a-second masterpiece. It's more like hanging out with funny people for a weekend and catching a steady stream of, oh, that was good, laughs. The humor leans raunchy and slapstick, with a lot of foul-mouthed banter, generational misunderstandings, and physical gags, rather than sharp, clever punchlines. For me, it landed in that sweet spot of I'm chuckling more and more as it goes, especially in scenes where Hart bounces off Mason Gooding's character. Those two have surprisingly easy, natural chemistry that gives the movie some heart underneath the jokes. The Bachelor Party squad, Marcelo Hernandez, Mason Gooding, Cam Patterson, and Ben Marshall, fit comfortably into the familiar comedy archetypes: the hype guy, the sensitive one, the wild card, the newbie. They're not reinventing the genre, but they keep the party vibes alive and give Hart enough different personalities to play off of, so the dynamic never gets stale. There's also at least one big cameo that feels tailor-made to make longtime comedy fans smile, the kind of, oh, they got him moment that almost feels like an inside joke for people who grew up on a certain era of comedy. Story-wise, 72 Hours is basically a latter-day cousin of The Hangover and other bachelor party gone-off-the-rails comedies. Mistaken identities, drug lord drama, relationship tension, and a midlife crisis all crammed into 3 chaotic days. It's not breaking new ground, and some bits feel like a remix of jokes you've seen in other party movies, but the movie seems fully aware that its job is simple: keep the weekend rolling and keep you smiling enough to stick around. On that level, it succeeds. It's the kind of film you throw on for a casual night in with friends when you want vibes, not a comedy revolution. Going in, I genuinely didn't think I'd enjoy 72 Hours. The premise sounded like another recycled old guy versus young world comedy I could skip without guilt. But somewhere between the group chat chaos, the Miami madness, and Kevin Hart's Cardo Montana, I realized I was laughing more than I expected. never clutching my stomach, but consistently chuckling and leaning in. By the end, it felt like I'd just spent 3 messy, funny days with people I wouldn't necessarily party with in real life, but wouldn't mind visiting again on Netflix when I want a fun, low-pressure comedy hangout. 7.2 out of 10. Watch this weekend on Netflix. Hey, want more Right Flicks reviews? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.